So, I had a funny thing happen. Nothing to do with our current conversation. It's just something funny. I accidentally spilled some flour the other day. Told myself, oh, it's no big deal. And I don't use much flour at home. I've had the same bag for a few months now, and it's like I should probably get it used. I'll just bring in a cup of flour or whatever and replace it and keep the batch whole. It doesn't cause any problems for anybody. It doesn't cost the shop anything. It's flour that I really wasn't going to miss anyway. No big deal. I keep things running smoothly with a simple cup of flour to fix my mistake. I forgot for a day. Whatever. Came back in this morning. Had it on me. On my way into work. It's really cold. It was -4 this morning. Plenty of little spots of black ice. As I was turning up onto the circ, hit a little patch of it, swiveled a bit. Officer saw, bloops me. Decides to pull me over at 5:05 in the morning. All pulled over and everything like that. And he comes up to the car. He's like, license and registration. I pull out my stuff and I give it to him. He's like, I saw you swerving there, sir. I just wanted to check in on you. I'm going to go run your info. I'll be back in a minute to speak with you. And goes back to his car, runs all my info. And he comes back up and he hands me my stuff. He says, you're all in the clear. No big deal. Just want to ask, have you been drinking? Have you been taking any medications, any drugs? I just wanted to make sure you did a bit of swiveling. I understand it's cold and there's some black ice, but it's my job to make sure that people are being safe. This is just trying to do diligence. And I said, no, it's fine, Your Honor, or Your Honor. I didn't say her. I said, it's fine, officer. I just tired going to work, hit the black ice, and I didn't try very hard to avoid it. I knew I was just gonna go through it. It wasn't a big deal, and there wasn't any cars around. Whatever. He was like, okay, doesn't sound very normal that somebody's just gonna ignore the black ice. Can you step out of the car for me, Mr. Johnson? I was like, okay, sure. It's at this moment that I realize the situation that is about to play out. I get out of the car, asks me to turn around, pats me down real quick. I advise him of my firearm in the vehicle, asks me to step to the back of the vehicle. I do that. We continue our conversation. He's like, I'm looking at you, Mr. Johnson, and you don't look impaired or anything. I'm sorry to do this to you so early in the morning. It's really, but we have to do our job, and you'd be surprised the amount of early morning DUIs we get. They're actually much more likely to happen. So he looks in my car real quick. He didn't even do a formal search. He just did a window look in, and he sees the tip of the blue Ziploc in my seat for the flour that I was taking to work. Like, Mr. Johnson, I see something that appears to be drugs in your car. I'm going to go ahead and at this time place you into detainment while I search your vehicle. And I was like, oh, absolutely, you don't even have to do that. I won't, just go ahead, pull it out. He's like, okay. And he reaches in and he pulls out a big Ziploc bag full of white powder. I don't keep any Little Caesars logos on me. I don't need them. I usually work my job outside of business hours when nobody is around. I stick to the black and orange for the sake of appearances, but honestly, I don't need a work shirt because I'm not working with customers or anything like that. And I do dough. You get covered in flour and yeast and oil and yuckiness. So I don't want to destroy my clothes. I'm like, now, officer, look at what I'm wearing. Obviously going to work. Got the black and orange. I don't have a logo because I'm obviously not going to work during business hours, but that is a bag of flour. Mr. Johnson, you don't understand how many times I hear that in a day, and it's very cold out here. I'm going to go sit in my car. He put me in cuffs, put me in the back of his car, sat down in the front seat, and started to get his stuff out, and he realized as he was fiddling it, he realized it was flour. Before he did any of he realized it was flour and knew. Mr. Johnson, I'm sorry about this. Here you go. I hope I didn't ruin this flour. I didn't end up using the flour just simply because I don't know if his hands were dirty and I couldn't, I gotta take another thing of flour into work with me tomorrow.